what I found from the local side was a lot of caution, a little bit less willingness to take a leap, maybe take a risk on projects that were being proposed, businesses that were being proposed. Yes, I'm living here for 15 years, and obviously I'm here because I love the place. I found that I was drawn to Prague because there was for me, there was an energy here that felt like what you want is just around the next corner. And then you go around that corner, and what you want is just around the next corner. And so I felt it as a motivating place for myself. Also, at that time, there were a lot of foreigners coming into the Czech Republic, and because everything was new, the market was new in every way, people could simply choose what they wanted to do and try it. There were people who were going into film, starting businesses, all kinds of things. What I found from the local side was a lot of caution, a little bit less willingness to take a leap, maybe take a risk on projects that were being proposed, businesses that were being proposed. And over time, of course, that started to shift. I noticed it because I was teaching also at university in the United States and here when I first came. And I found that in the US, because we're trained in rhetoric and having an opinion, everyone is able to express their opinion and even their idea, and this is what I would do if I were making a plan. But they might not necessarily have the concrete knowledge or the research behind. What I found here was I was in a room, even in the university, of people who had a lot of knowledge, really all of the building blocks for what they needed to make a decision, but they were less willing to form an opinion or really stand by that opinion and say, this is what we want to do and why, and these are the steps that we'll take to manifest it. So I found this when we were working on the festival, that I was looking at these spaces in Prague and I said, well, this palace, yes, I want to be there. You know, we will work on that, and of course, we must be in this building at some point. And my team was saying, no way, it's not possible, it's difficult, that's a state building, they won't be open to that. And so we had a little bit of tension there, but I think it was a very good tension. It was the tension between, let's be clear on our vision. This opens us, we want to be there, that's our goal, we know. The steps how to do it, let's look at it. These are the blocks. Usually this doesn't happen. It's not open for this kind of event. We can go through all the ways people say no. How can we convince these people, these stakeholders, that it's very good for them to work with us? Especially since we're a nonprofit organization and we're not offering commercial rent. Some of these buildings that we want to use, there's a commercial rent. We can't make that. And when we started to express to the people running these buildings, for example, the Czech Museum of Music, we started to get the support from the city of Prague that this was a useful event for bringing people in to the city, etc., and culturally it was interesting. So then we went to these palaces and places that were still either run by the city, by the archive, for example, of Prague, and telling them the reason why we do this event, what people get from it, etc. And we were really quite surprised that when we were open about that and we said, the city is supporting us, they've given us the stamp of approval, and we would like to use their building for this and this purpose, very often they were open. And so we were paying rents for our evenings, but we were paying symbolic rents or decreased rents. People were willing to work in part with us. I think had the team been perhaps had the team only been Czech, at that point when we started, they might have stopped that process and said, oh, that's not going to be possible. Had it only been myself and the other foreigners who were on the team, we might not have, certainly we wouldn't have had the skills or the knowledge behind to know how to approach these people, how to negotiate, what the culture context is behind. So we were successful in this when we put those two elements together.